you listeners, new listeners out there.
What's up to everybody out there?
What's going on?
New listeners.
You're probably in your car, probably at your home, probably on the computer, listening to Spotify somewhere, or YouTube, since this is the YouTube rendition, and you're wondering, hey, what the heck is this show about? Well, we're going to tell you what it's about. It's called the Runner and Gunner Video Game Podcast. You found it, just like you found a treasure chest in the Link to the Past, or Tears of the Kingdom, or even Red Dead Redemption Part 2.
Or found $20 on the curb, man, just hanging out, walking down the street, and you got some gold in your hands. So hold on to that gold, because this is the best, America's favorite video game podcast.
That's right. You found a cassette from Pamela in Friday the 13th, the game. You know, when you're listening to this show, that's exactly what you got. So, well, let's get on with the show. This episode is actually called Athletes in video games.
And what's up, Maniacs, also, because we know our loyal fans and we call them Maniacs. So that's why if you guys hear us saying what's up to all the Maniacs out there, or if we say reference Maniacs in any type of way, we are talking about you out there, our listeners. Our Maniacs.
Our Maniacs. And
so anyways, let's get down to it, Gunner.
Way back
this episode is about athletes in video games. And remember, this
athletes
is the more
impressive
version of the Runner Gunner Video Game Podcast. So let's put it on Spotify, the full version.
It's compact, but it's more impact. Yep, that's right. Compact with more impact. That's what we got with you.
There it is, everybody.
Everybody out there, the Runner and Gunner Video Game Podcast, we got the full version on Spotify. YouTube's an exclusive rendition. It's different, but we're going to talk about the same subject as quick as we can, or as fast as we can, for the working man and the working woman
out there
on the go.
All right, everybody, so here we go. The best, not the worst, the best video games with athletes in it. So the athletes do take over, and we already know we're not going to be talking too much about EA Sports. We're not going to be talking about NBA games or MLB games like the show.
Yeah. We're not going to list
big ones.
MLB and NFL games.
Not the big ones, not so much. But we are going to get into something like this.
Something a little more rare.
So Bo Jackson was probably the most dominant player in a game back in the day.
Bo Jackson baseball.
He had Bo Jackson baseball. He was also in Tecmo Bowl Super Bowl. But Tecmo Bowl was probably where he was his most dominant self. He kicked butt. He could run and do this and that. But he did have a game on his own called Bo Jackson Baseball. And it's pretty awesome.
It was also on Game Boy.
Check it out.
It's also on Game Boy, so check it out. We're not going to give the dates because, honestly, I don't know when it came out. Sometime in the 80s. Or the early,
a long time. It was an old one. But this is athletes in video games. All right, Gunner, let us know what you got.
It was great. Video games, baseball games on Game Boy, baseball games on NES.
The good old days.
The math was so correct. Like, now they just scan everything in, and the math is just all wrong.
This is before you could play it on tablets and iPhones and iPads and iIs.
We'll get more into it on the Spotify version. The same topic, same context. Everybody, Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Tony Hawk is
an athlete, everybody.
You guys should all know who Tony Hawk is. Every gamer out there better know who Tony Hawk is.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 through 7,
if they don't,
18,
Gunner's going to tell you.
So there's also Dave Mera BMX. There's also Matt Hoffman's BMX. And there's also Callie Slater Surfing, for that matter. And they're all kind of made by the same companies. And they're all very much athletes. What about Olympic video games?
Olympic video games who have great Olympic athletes that
sometimes,
not only that,
some games have sponsored athletes in it. Mostly it's mostly generic, right? There's not really a star athlete.
It's mostly a generic player.
It's not like
unless it would be kind of cheating if you got Michael Phelps in the ocean in the ocean doing an ocean event which they made
smoking
up,
a bong.
And you're going he's
Michael Phelps
and a bong
Olympics,
gives him super speed.
It's not Michael Phelps Olympics.
Yeah.
So Olympics are kind of
weird.
They don't have, boxing definitely has got some athletes.
They don't have Caitlyn Jenner doing the triple threat thing that he did back in the 70s. That would be cool if they would have
Caitlyn Jenner's Olympics.
Whatever. Yeah, Caitlyn Jenner's Olympics. They need
pretty
to have
extreme
that.
right there. Bet you guys never heard that joke before. And that's the kind of things you get on the Runner and Gunner Video Game Podcast.
Video Game Podcast.
We say some jokes that you're going to find offensive and you're going to call cussing, even though in reality, we said no bad words at all.
And so we have Michael Jordan and the Windy City. That is actually a game based off of, I think, the movie that he made. What's that movie called again, Gunner? The big one that hit it before
Space Jam, baby.
LeBron James. Yeah, this was before LeBron James actually played him. So it's Chaos in the Windy City. It came out in the 90s, I believe.
Also Jordan versus Bird.
And yeah, Jordan versus Bird. That was a big one. But one that is also off branch was that one because it didn't have a lot to do with basketball so much as as Michael Jordan just being in the video game, helping them save the world.
And we're saying that we're not going to list like all the athletes in those games, but Jordan and Bird were the cover. Jordan was the cover of Windy City. We also could talk about Tom Brady and Mahomes.
All the Madden
Jerry
games.
Rice had one.
Jerry Rice.
Boxing, Muhammad Ali.
But we are going to talk about one big boxing game that started the whole trend of this thing that we get out.
That is correct. What game is that?
And it is called Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. That was the beginning, everybody. I mean, it wasn't the first game ever, but it did popularize a whole genre of a sport.
It opened up the imagination.
It did. It made it big, and it made it so cool.
In fact, no games are like that till this day.
Actually, we could do a whole episode on this game, but we're just going to mention it real quick because we don't have that much time, because this is the compact impact version of the Run and Gunner video game podcast.
And we'll get into it more in the Spotify version.
Just giving them to you real quick. What about Shaq? Didn't he make something
Shaq
back
Fu.
in the day? There, Shaq Fu.
That's it. And it wasn't a basketball game. Shaq was in a game that wasn't a basketball game, but he was like the star player in the game. So Shaq,
audience
out there,
imagine how scary it would be.
Do you know any games with athletes in them? Maybe that's not like a sports game, but endorsed by this athlete with his likeness and character inside of it.
Yes, a star role or guest appearing
something,
role,
audience? You tell us.
Or some kind of like even a code role, so where you have to type in or do some kind of accomplishment to get that character.
Kombat or SNK or
I'm sure they're out
Street
there.
Fighter.
And our audience, we want you guys to let us know if you have any ideas or clues, or if you know for a fact that there is a star athlete out there in these type of video games, then just let the Run and Gunner Video Game Podcast know, and we'll throw a shout out to you too.
Yeah, and of course we do incorporate wrestling games, NFL, NBA, NHL, Wayne Gretzky,
even soccer, everybody.
Even soccer, if they're on the cover, like that's what we're talking about. But if you can get in deeper with this, how deep can we get? What athlete was in what game? Maybe you didn't know, like Shaq Fu, for instance.
Shaq Fu, I know.
It wasn't a basketball game.
It's a whole different game.
Socking people with basketballs, but you know what I mean? Right? But you tell us, anybody.
So my question is, Ralph Macchio actually starred in the video game, The Karate Kid. We know the movie. We know how big the movie did. We know about it. But The Karate Kid actually had a video game. It didn't have a successor, it just had the video game. So does that count as an athlete in a video game?
I don't know. You tell us, audience. Does that count?
It's up there. We'll leave it up to you guys.
If you mention it to the Runner and Gunner, we will definitely accept it and debate about it. But you got to listen to the Spotify version so you can get some more
full-on access.
Yes, full-on access. Everybody out there, it's the Runner and Gunner Video Game Podcast. Hey, before we go, we just want to have a little skit for you. We're going to make a little skit about Joe Rogan. Because we like Joe Rogan,
It's the funnies.
I really think that Joe Rogan is the number one podcast on earth.
He's premiered right now.
Therefore, we made him a little homage. We also like Stone Cold Steve Austin podcasts out there.
Yes, we do.
Audience, what is your favorite podcast? I know Runner and Gunner Video Game Podcast is one of them. But what other podcast do you listen to?
Let us know. Give us your opinions.
Follow us on Instagram.
Check us out.
Join the conversation on YouTube. Check us out.
Yeah, keep getting into it. All right, everybody, we got to go. But before we go, we're going to let you listen to this beautiful little prodigy
skit. This little skit. All right.
Check it out.
Check it out, everybody. And check out the Spotify version every Monday morning. And that's it. Every Monday morning, everybody.
Right. Runner and Gunner. Homo sapiens!
Joe Rogan's Homo sapiens?
Joe Rogan's Homo sapiens! All day and all night!
Joe Rogan's Homo sapiens! All day and all night!
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 And night! What's up, everybody? It's the Joe Rogan Homo Sapiens podcast. I'm here with Theo James. How's it going, Theo James? Glad to have you back on the show.
Well, thank you for having me once again. And this is about my 50th time on the program, and I have a lot to say. I know these days the world is a crazy and strange place.
Have you seen the P. Diddy video? Theo James, have you seen that on YouTube? Have you totally seen the P. Diddy video?
What a man treats a woman like a gentleman, he will take her out every night, and for he shall take her to a nice fine dining, take her home, and hope that a doggy gets his bone at the end of the night.
I totally
And that
agree.
is the hypothesis of the thesis of the whole relevance of dating.
So what you're saying is that the hypothesis of the thesis is that a man just treats a woman gentle.
Well, when a man shall
How did you
treat a
come to that
woman
conclusion, Theo James?
within time, a man shall treat a woman so deeply within his loins that he will feel the grinding within later
Loins.
that night.
You're so funny with the loins. Anyways, we're trying to do the ABCs of rock and roll, audience out there. If you want to listen, then tune in and play along. Well, then go ahead and join us. We're going to list
Wait
the
a minute,
ABCs.
Joe. How does this work?
Okay, so,
Theo James has no knowledge of the ABC game.
so it's quite easy. We're going to go sing the ABCs or just say the ABCs, English USA version. And, we're just going to totally name a rock and roll band associated with the letter of that name.
Sounds simple enough to me. I mean,
So I'll
if we
start it
could
off
break it down from the letter A. See, the alphabetic letter A
Totally.
was discovered way back in Athens, deep within a cave. You see, the man who had
Have
the
you seen
first
that video about Athens? It's totally awesome, dude. You gotta watch it. It's wicked awesome. But anyways, let's get down to the ABCs of rock and roll, audience. Are you ready? Play along with us. We're gonna start with A, Aerosmith. That's how it goes. Now you just
Well,
name
you
a band.
name Aerosmith, and I shall name
B.
Batteries, AC/DC.
Well, oh yeah, AC/DC. Aerosmith. B, Beatles.
Oh, I agree with you there. All right, 1 and 1.
C, Creedence Clearwater.
Well, how about the Cranberries? So many people shall love the Cranberries.
All right.
I love
I
cranberries
love
on
it too.
Thanksgiving,
All right.
and I love them in my music box.
Let's get a roll. Let's just say the letter and then say the band. Let's get a roll going.
I didn't know that's how you play the game. For this is my first time ever playing this
How about
game.
how about you do D, E, F? And just name all the bands. Just go down.
Okay.
Take a roll.
So for DEF, I'll put Def Leppard, and that covers all 3 letters.
Well, that's that works totally, dude. Have you seen the video?
So now we can skip
of
to
Def
G.
Leppard? Have you seen it, dude, on YouTube? It's totally trippy, dude. But anyways, G,
What is that video? Wait,
Genesis.
yeah, Genghis Kong,
H,
H.
Huey Lewis in the news.
Huey Lewis in the news, and what about the
I.
other? Oh, I.
Incubus.
Incubus,
My
and what
favorite
about
band, by the way.
Indonesia?
Oh, that's a good band. Indonesia. Check it out. Check it out on Google. You can find the band Indonesia.
What about J?
J.
A Jukebox Hero counts.
It would be a band name. It'd be a band name. So a band name that starts with the letter J.
Oh, I get it. Juliet? I like that play.
The band name. We know it, right? Who's a band that starts with the letter J?
Jelly Roll.
Aliens.
For
Can you help
Jelly
us out
Roll
here?
is a rapper.
Judas
And-
Priest. K.
Kid Rock
Kid
shall be
Rock.
always remaining one of the
Yes,
best.
you're doing it, Theo James.
I get it now.
L.
Wait a
Leonard
minute.
Skinner.
Leonard Skinner. What about Led Zeppelin?
Led Zeppelin works. M.
The Monkees.
The Monkees.
But do you have to have the? Does T count as the name of the band, or
Also the Marshall Tucker Band.
do not call me that name? That is very offensive.
Marshall Mathers. Oh no, he's like not a band. N.
NWA? Perhaps?
It counts.
Perhaps.
O.
Oh,
Oasis.
Oasis?
I've been waiting to say that one. Totally.
NWO? P. Who is P? Paul McCartney's a band. I guess he counts on his own.
Oh yeah, Primus.
Okay. Pantera as well.
Yes.
Q for Queen. All us Lennies are all the Lennies out there. Shout out to you guys.
Queen. What else? But there's no other Q band besides Queen.
Q-Tip is
They're
a
totally
rapper,
awesome.
and he has albums, so I would agree Q-Tip.
I'm certain there's a band named Quintuplets somewhere out there.
Quiff is my favorite.
R.
REM,
REM works.
perhaps.
I was gonna think Redbone.
Hey, well, they're not here yet.
S.
There's so many bands with the letter
Simon
S
and
that
Garfunkel.
Oh, you already... Okay, then. Well, Simon and Garfunkel.
T.
T.
For...
Tina Turner.
Tina Turner.
The one who Ike severely met Kobe
Twisted
Bryant one night.
Sister. Yeah, that's a good one. Tina Turner, Twisted Sister, both T's. Audience, follow along. We're on T, Q, R, S, T, U.
U is for
U2.
U2 and underground rap.
Yes, and underground hip hop. V.
V is for a very good
The
band.
Vixens. Violent Femmes.
What goes on to W? I mean, there is so many W ones.
Ween.
Like Wagon Train and Wings.
Wagon Train.
What about Wings?
What
Wingstop.
about Weezer?
What about Taking a Whiz?
What about X? X the band.
Exhibit was a rapper who made various
Exhibit.
albums.
Y?
Why? Yes.
Yngwie Malmsteen.
Yes is a band.
Yes.
And yes is true.
And Z. Zap.
Zap and Roger.
All right, audience.
So there you have it.
I hope you had some good picks out there, because this is the ABC's rock and roll game that we just played for you to loosen up your mind on a Monday morning. It is the Monday Morning Podcast.
Oh, don't forget, Joe Rogan, we are also sponsored by the Runner and Gunner Show, where they have a thing called Monday Morning Cracks.
That's right. So let's have a Monday morning crack for the Runner and Gunner Video Game Podcast, because they do sponsor us. They do pay for us to have a show. They did inspire us to change our show and to change the whole surface of podcasting, period. So this is the Runner and Gunner Homo Sapiens Show, everybody. All you homos out there, get listening, because it's the Runner and Gunner Homo Sapiens.
And for I am Theo James.
Joe Rogan's Homo Sapiens, that is. Theo James, give me a cheers, man.
Well, cheers to you, and
Cheers
three
to you.
cheers to all the beers and all the ladies without beards in the world. Cheers to you, and for I am Theo James.
Yes, everybody, and enjoy the Runner and Gunner Video Game Podcast, coming at you right
now.